Be across the 16 regions. Into winya from number be a potty or more or bet show. Now my bounty for aiming was 0207229505 and 0244 271992 0244 227192 and 0245275254 and no any amen number. And yama would be brave and I am a coso ni pedrinuma near buye near guso. And some would be brain, nipa do dona etse, any dio muhunu. I eat me cofa in Susan so see a ye bonnet, eba, away so. A dear bako pa, ma realize a pie banner pomodin, and one semwa, ye mental health. Yen taking a serious so. Be our buffy school above a can be extra, ufan and normal, but not a did them a wabo funny trimu. A DB a ye day a friend akodani engine. Nuntino, distorting even a thinking pattern. Now, so your bad sign it, black idiot, brony, never one my way, it's me into one way and so as we used to, but any normal. Into your neck, your baby dim como, a dear fat, your mental health, a dear come, your mental health and a company, and no any DA. Into your baby dim como, a dear fa home. Helena Nana Ama Akonoba or no any founder. Emma Akonoba Foundation any never be disa and come into baby will be a come home back be PMO Fontaine times UTV Ghana. Just to me live was on channel 360 on DSTV and so you want to Abe Fontaine times will be to me say be or one who feel say distorted a mental sanity will be to me the one samaba maybe sa and so a day amount or papa me watching what's nasi.
Me that say
bibi aboko de
nyamiadom
nyame asepa on say nyamiadom say this go America for nyamiadom okay mental you can't mental health meaning say our foundation ade a wo championing on pa eno no wo be mamu nchire mu say
we dey me that was so me akonya no na me say when it comes to the meaning na Mr. Make up of kaka if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. Say it's our emotional, psychological, like how are you feeling, right? Because it affects senia ufili, wojin, uye ubibia. So I say so it's about unipedriano and especially wajin. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
he said you be sorry be physically bibi atochema ewe ye ho a because so my seeking for medical attention and I say help and assistance sana mental health who say mental health so important and who here part to say physical health nana.
Absolutely. So you can't one who said yeah sometimes even in a year who say I have to go do an annual checkup. Sana mental health net here because it works hand in hand. So you find say oh you are really being poor. Definitely it affects your mind, right? So it works hand in hand. In the same year, now you're taking care of ourselves near the end. Sana was say you to me taking care of our mind as well and mental health. Because in our mental health happens every day. Every day because how you think affects how you move. It is a matter now no pain and me say, oh, I'm gonna have a bad day. Everything I do is going to be bad for me because sana ma drain one sana me two and mobi, right? But then Mr. No pana minim say okay, it's going to be a good day regardless of what happens. Piano minim sana minim say it's going to be a good day. So that's the same way I would take care of medical health. You have to apply the same thing to your mental as well.
Mental health, okay. And then Akonoba Mental Health Foundation, more SHS tour. When you share the experience, and you may be or maybe SHS or mine back on the dana, near me free mobile, and you won't hear better much for Mushe Yina, or Munina be home when you are cost to say, a DSS take your mental health, very serious foundation, a dear moye.
Maybe let me say, when it comes to your tour now, we realize because me Ghana, we come find some girls. And I realized there's a lot of things that happen in school. Make us say, "Kofo minimum mobino." Ebiana senior bika a same kitwe bichre or more. Na omoni at that time no often say are growing a OD. But then a lot of people know they are come adulthood. Obi to say sebe, obi beka say one time. One year fair. One say when lower the self-esteem in yet that higher. A bit to me, I abuani be a bit me impacted how as a whole. So it was something our foundation and yet to also say everybody's creating that awareness in their own way. By end we're going to target the schools, which is the senior secondary schools, and we're going to target that. Now, I was glad that we did this because we did this last year too, by Kokumase. But this year, the Central Region. So we did Infantaman, we did non-teaching staff, we did teachers, we did Form 2s and Form 3s, the entire school. You're making sure you educate or more about mental health, just for them to know what it is, right? Any years I was seeing it become like building their own self-esteem as well. We did that as well. Now in Kuala Lumpur, they were very receptive, engaging.
Okay,
they were engaging.
Free to share the experience, and I didn't open up freely and
for me, Nadia, I was surprised. Like for Infantamano, I already started with them 2 years ago with self-esteem, building your self-esteem. It's in the thing is, Form 1 at that time, they are in Form 3. So honestly, they were open. They were bold. They had the confidence to tell people. They didn't care who was there. To tell people how they were feeling. But other schools, that was my first time. In India, it was even though they were engaging, it wasn't as Infantaman was. Now, me in India, they were open, but there were issues that came like, your school counselors, Enkasa.
Ade.
Because they feel like, the stigma around mental health, and then knowing, say, if they tell the counselor this, it might be somewhere else. So we did tell them, say, things like that are very confidential, right? Into year 2, it's okay to go talk to someone. But for us, I had one-on-one sessions with the kids. And Infantaman was my entire day. Infantapim was in the afternoon. And I agree, so was in the afternoon. But then when we were done, kids were coming one-on-one to have conversations. Which was great. Which was great. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
We want to say, Abofrebi is seeking for help. Mental health.
I think it should be something we should be freely to have conversations around that, right?
As in any day,
anytime, right? We don't want to wait till it gets overwhelming. Say, it's shit my dream, so I can't do anything about it. That's when it's like I'm looking for someone to talk to. I think every day, we learn coping skills. Maybe I'll do deep breathing exercises, and I say maybe physical exercises, right? And I say I will do yoga, and I will do something like that to help me, and get so at first I was let me look for someone to talk to. You can always talk to something if
okay.
So I for me I always tell people, don't wait till it gets there. Have conversations with someone you trust, someone you feel like, okay, nipa we may come as some trainer, maybe that person is just going to listen, because sometimes they don't want you to tell them what to do. It's about just listening. Having the listening ear, just to listen to someone. That's the most important thing.
Broken heart issues broken heart mental health and a lot of them
I mean, there was one kid that actually said something like that in terms of not as I didn't want to be my so. But then you're young, right? You're young. But I get it, because I think when we're all there, we did something like that. I said she didn't really go into details, but it was more of the stress related when it comes to like studying in school. Anxiety, fear of going out there, right? And people that were traumatized. Because if you offer, let's say my height, they are laughing at my height. And I'm like, no, you're cute, right? Laughing at my height. And I'm like, what is wrong with your height? There's nothing wrong with it. Wrong.
School for the be hard dream pow. Me when him tell me go school, no I don't know from or longer spring. I'm tall. And I'm slim.
Okay.
Ain't me pierce no omo chen me o. But because I'm tall, no to mo abeka say me chen wo mo. To omo best ne bi fe me so holy. Like all kinds of way. But it got to a point we'll do baby then compliment me about wow. The way I was stated city feel. Then you begin to think na didn't na me mate no more me say so that time no psychologically if you are not stronger ebe how again who say to say they will self esteem it will be so low for kwa wontumi enkobi and the obeka chose and the height and I say I don't know say be we any petite
or you're cute and her body's like she's so beautiful. So you know she only had to hear one thing from me, you're beautiful. That was what did the trick. So I told her, say every morning she'll say you're beautiful everywhere. And that can keep you going. Whatever people say about you in the school is none of your business. But that is number one thing I live in the world because you bet because the other you be so at the end of the day, you know, it's like do what you can, but make sure you're doing the right thing and don't care about what people say.
Okay.
And then another thing, so they said people were scared of opening up because when him said make kokano misro ya injimindi. Right? People came and they talked about I'm hearing voices. And I'm like, what is the voice telling you to do right now? It's telling me not to listen to you. I said, okay, I want to challenge the voice. I'll say, and I said, what is it telling you now? Well, to listen to you now. And I said, so when was the last time you felt like cutting or self-harming? Was it 2 weeks ago? When I hear cases like that, I don't leave it alone. The MBN says, school counselor, no, I let you know about it. Now, mama akola na yede, ehu bibisa. Na say, onus way to me a catcher, a headmistress. No, so the everyone can be aware of what's going on. There was a question behind me, bisa. I say, mental health. No, do they really talk about those things in school? School back was like, oh, you know, in our curriculum that they mention it maybe in the health. Courses or something like that, but we don't really have a class ABI is really talking about mental health.
Since I said on daily basis be oh yeah kasamfa adwumo how home be etimi how adwumo and then the omo nkan
that it's just mental health is the psychologically explaining and I don't know, but it's not about okay let's do this. Maybe for self-care, right? Maybe a Friday be where I find it's school and I don't have anything. Instead of entertainment on Saturdays, there are days that we can set aside and do something with the girls. Because this is how you engage kids. Maybe by and I'm a bay at all and they saw me as, oh, she's talking about it. Now, the stigma around it is, you know, some way, somehow she understands what she's saying. So they were open to me. If the schools are doing these sessions, not just a sessional, but you're once in a while, let's talk about stress. Because school there, stress will hold. Because
exactly. Good. Putting them together, no, you're used to it.
Exactly. And I said, yeah, let's talk about how to manage this, how to do things like that, get kids engaged. But what's your office? Now we expect this Akwalambra and Jerry they're not going to do that.
Now, so for schools now, we're going to girls and kwana, baby, or a mixer, meman sofra.
Last year, Kumase, hi, Infantaman, we did Infantaman before, and this year, I Infantaman, and I Infantapim, and I call Agri Memorial. So the girls, the boys, and then mix. Now I wanted to see how it is. Said now that we've done regions, you know, we'll be able to do when we go to a region, schools they will have to reach out and then we will do what we have to do. So moving forward like regions.
Remember so more so challenging and then do if you neglected as a new himself or yes bema na no dre you know. Remember no mampo no na omuntimi open up. Remember no so no mo so there.
I was surprised. They opened up.
Wow.
They opened up to a point that that's a guy that I would never forget. He asked a question, say, the better just say in front of say, we are opening be back now what SHSR. How can you deal with people's expectations? If your minister be back and I way back because on pet some be treating us Emma obisa me how to, like, people got so engaged that I was like, wow, they do need this.
Into on person say be isolating and be treating it different person or yet normal.
Yes,
abofra said obi at
yes. So I said, don't be sad because I know say no or dream or say affected no.
Wow,
it's on penisa. Or per se will live a life where everybody could, you know, he can be treated the same as everybody else. And I call baby, so I want to acknowledge some parents. There were kids that said, I'm diagnosed with this. That I'll give it to the parents. Parents they do understand mental health. It's, you know, what they do is that when it gets to that point, then mental illness now, they've been able to take their kids to the doctor to really get them the help they need. And I love that too. So I want to acknowledge parents. Now what see now they educate and give their kids more. And your parents, I'm hearing voices. I was Obi Nayem.
And I call what could you do and a bonnie
good. And I call school on a or something like that. You know, people put
it has to go beyond the
exactly because hearing voices is real. You can hear voices. It's so yes, you can hear voices. Who's that? I'm not in your way, right? Sometimes you hear voices cry out, baby, catch your conscience, right?
Yeah.
Our journey is so intense, I didn't catch or say it can be good, it can be bad.
I see.
So it gets bad when it's telling you to self-harm, when it's telling you Konaka committed suicide. But once you're self-harming, one day back could try vein, then that's it. Because it's getting you there.
Inti you know dear namofra no omo on daily basis ebetimi aboa wo mo mental health no.
I told them to ask for help because the school counselors are there for them. Inti they should ask for help. And I was able to teach them some coping skills. We gave out journals like books they'll be able to they feel like I can't talk to someone. They'll be able to do their journals every day, what time they wake up and everything. It's a book that has a
lot of activities.
Exactly, so they could do that. But in the school, you have a big place, you know, you can take walks in between here and there. But then it's okay to ask for help. So even if it's not your colleague, I will trust you. And I also thought the other kids so can be advice. They just want you to listen, right? But when it gets to that point today, then you know it's okay. I think we have to go to the school counselor, and I say, yeah, recommend that to them. But we were able to teach them the coping skills for breathe in, breathe out. It's something I do because it takes practice. BBC sometimes you just have to calm down because if you wouldn't even know what you're talking about. It's, you know, I was able to tell them to, you know, utilize breathe in and breathe out. It calms you down for some time before you be able to say something that you need to say. We taught them a lot: journaling, breathing, mindfulness, you know, which is the mindfulness like yoga and we're able to tell them to do something like that when they feel like it's getting to that point. However, so it drew a horror that it feels like so overwhelming they have to talk to someone right away. We have to, even though people were like, no, we don't want to because our school counselors are this or that, but then that's what they're saying. But when we spoke to them, it wasn't like that. They don't come. They're like, oh, some come, some don't, which is okay, it's expected. And you'll be Anna or Beba. So I did encourage, I did encourage the school counselors, and they said they should have programs, they should have talk sessions, they should have talk, you know, something like what I'm doing, and no break, keep that chain, and it allows the kids to come to you and have these conversations. Okay.
Now, mofrano so din komono ebinu mo hono mo or how I did or mudi free school and I say majority of them a school mum how and a how musa
they brave free they brave free broken homes, and even when they were coming or they were growing up, you know what they saw at home. It's, you know, almost decided not be feeling so bus school no who will be say or no yes something different na or dream na kofa be before forever because thinking I have to be that person. Obi wo honso so ana ni fie no person perfect. Inti no ba school kakra na nkofo bi ye bibia nkofo so no so that is how she can gain some experience to me and also so enye and a bebre there. It was from the home, how they were brought up. Bebre was from the home, and how their parents are not listening to them. It's like, what I want you to do is what you're going to do. So I say, Bebre were from homes, and some were in the school because yes, sir, you know, stuff like that. So stuff like that, and people not really understanding them. So that is what they're lacking in school.
To say the worker say parents ni be ohonoma de ono pesa abofra na ye na eno ye no academics, you know, challenge bemu ana onjo bi ohonoma course a already no enye no na wo pe na so the parents and say why encounter be
I did but also already on found the parents quite nim so kwasasa no
to wonder what's the blind side of the parents, you know.
But no, beside me saying so Kofia, how can she have the conversation? Because of form 2.
Wow.
What's the son?
And the parents in him.
Aware. But how can she have the conversation? And I had to help her with that. I said, you know what, when you go first, the thing is just acknowledge them for being good parents. Because when you started with Bibi Papa,
yeah.
Start with acknowledgement for them being a good parent. Tell them tell them what you did, apologize, and tell them the reason why you did it.
You did that.
So what I said was like, okay, if it goes well, it doesn't go well, I'm always available. You can call me whether I'm in Ghana or I'm in the US. You can call me and I'll have conversations with you.
Okay.
And I'm glad to say you're free schools, and I've been getting a lot of calls.
Oh.
When they find some time, they're like, I prefer talking to you other than somebody else. But when I feel like, oh, it's going too deep, then I reach out to I think the schools are open too for them to reach out. But then when it gets to like something that we have to put that person on the radar, then I have to let the school counselor know so they can keep an eye on the person.
Okay. Inti ne no say eba ne se fa efutu ema enamfofo emofra a wo mo ebre eba no eye mental health aseme na obeka kire
Meka kire say they are not alone. Mental health is okay just as medical health, right? They're not alone. They should always seek for help. Having diagnosis doesn't change who you are, because at the end of the day, you're striving to get better. They should continue asking for help, seek more mental health education, and do what is best for them. If you have to take your medication, because it gets to a point that people have to take medication. If it gets to that point, take your medication at the right time and then take care of yourself. Do some coping skills. Maybe those coping skills can someday somehow take you out from the medication that you're on. Because we know some medications also have like some side effects, right? I think so unlimited social media. Social media is good, but then it's bad, right? In a way. Because the more you go out there and you hear about a topic, a trigger will pet before forever. So it should limit when and how and the duration of how they go to social media. Number one factor, because trigger no yeah. So that is one thing I'll let somebody know and let them know they're not alone.
Okay.
Everyone has something going on. But the fact that I'm able to cope with mine doesn't mean say one want to mean copy with and to make you less of a human being. No. Obia will be. Obia will be. Mental health is every day. Mental illness is when it gets to that point and you are diagnosed. When you're diagnosed and it doesn't make you less of a human. It's okay not to be okay. So that is what I can tell anyone that is going through any mental health diagnosis and that is going through something that even if it's not about that, but anything that is going on, it's okay.
It's okay
not to be okay.
Also, before we be embarking on projects, be not want a backstory. And then the motivate you ma or they, you know, sa foundation we say about to, you know, advocate on mental health.
I'm a social worker with the US and I work in the mental health field.
Okay.
Now me embarking on this journey was even I work ewo baby I deal with. And me ankasa na me coffee. I have a team that work, but then anytime I'm corner, they come back and give me the feedback. Now me who say sometimes when we have our Ghanaian parents now, they usually give us pushback until some disclose. He say, "Oh, we are done any. Don't worry, Obano was safe hands." And sana, ome nyame mujidie. I can say, you know what? Let me do what I can do. And sana me too. To me who say. African as a whole, not just here, even in the US, a lot of people are in denial. I want to really educate people about mental health, let them know it's okay, right? So that was the story. But we also have a charity series where we do back to school too.
Oh, okay.
So region ayebebano, ye torna, ye Gracie Bibia with a primary school, JSS, we come and then we do back to school. Okay. They are betching kwalani book bags and everything before we end everything and then we go back. So that was what really motivated me. But I would say Adekye, so yeah, you need the support. Yeah. So if it's okay, I made to imagine a Queen way. So because I couldn't have done this without this person. Prophet Noah Yeboah our Fidelity Praise Arena. Me ni krom hakrana baby I beko akohwehwe akoya a tour and I said baby back akoye back to school. Any support when it comes to that no or yes. And yeah mental health gala and also so US your sponsors CD Medical, BB Nick, because I'm born in India, one I sorry for ya. Almost so no, and QBB Co-op City African Market, and Face Up Consulting, people that are supporting the gala because this is what we're using the funding for. It's I want to say thank you to them for this support because Enka Foundation you better see it but we do baby into me and you almost support the academy. Because our academy is supported, so and I wore the US crew that's almost supported, and I wore a Ghana crew also almost supported. So I want to say thank you, but we need more. Okay, we need more.
Until we hear more, maybe one of these chat so the assembly okay him for now. We hear more, maybe other institutions I will be making appeal to them so almost remember support so
and baby Ghana will be out here no I will be here more right because traveling here and there coming spending more time you hear coffee baby because I'm bodin dia say you bodin I don't know but if you fear her crab no you hear emwa kese pa so be yen na o support you know what we're doing you can definitely reach out to us and then support us. Even mainly a gala na US we need that support. Like you to me they are supporting kwala not just that do baby maybe then we can move to tertiary. Because our main goal is say we want to come back again and this time certify the school counselors so they can have mental health first aid certificates. Okay, wow. Yeah.
So the baby quickly now.
A teacher will be able to exactly. So that's going to be another our plan back and because we want to certify to have that because it was a school first aid. We need mental health first aid too. And who be our class, so it's me assess it. Because this is what is wrong with the person. Okay. So we want to do that as well. So we need the support.
You better send a paper.
Thank you.
Yo, officer for Helena Nana Ama Akonoba founder, Akonoba Foundation, and a Kasafa mental health. So we say a very good course into the mystery. Say minimum number be out bit me atuja any bobo.
But 0533 732 838. 0533 732 838. And only a Ghana number.
WhatsApp on so.
WhatsApp on so. And a US line also so it's okay. It's out there. And also I think 001. So we fresh from Ghana 001 646 262 1664. Okay. And also bit me afraid.
Okay, yeah, that's a part. Was of what my fast down so my aiming scientific herbal and alternative medical hospital. Mother Roman almost saw yes, then my eating me. Eddie up with Dinkita Hodi, a buy, amen to Allah who safi when your many years for Isha Allah in your power, Ubi to ase de free ho. 16 regions ni nyina or branches e wo ho no monti. But modern na frɛ wo mo 020 and 0244227192 and I say 0245275254 eno any amen wo mo number na mame on tell me teenager luxury or not we say a possible beauty house or na me why first and no pay me papa fie wo wake super social makeup ya acrylic and pedicure manicure ni nyina wo region bia so anasa brochikra na person place wo order yes distance and your barrier baby will be a possible ebeye edia bro na nei so person social makeup ye hair and so weeks near the na 50% discount into Bomodena for any chair honomo be Pimo Manage Junction Spinters Road or collect my hospital or adjacent the hospital into Kohonoma Freno. It was 0246811026 0246811026 and I would pay hair toa kona de kotobi why Mr. Koho at the Joy Closet and a share matter the Joy or Mataheko Trade Fair and a Adrengano East Legon. I want to enjoy branches in na or say distance on your barrier. Occasion be as what I dear call. But the joy the audio no one is audio for empty call. Obe what I do more shoes, obe more pop boa. Ne bags up be at one sasso. Freddy Joy was 0244787799 0244787799. Yeda ya ho ba koba ni abedwafo bi sinkonya ye digana ho nkomo nko bebe be basisia.